indeed. You're now logged in. You now tune in to Big Rich Ruler Show. I am the one and only DJ Young One in the building. We also got
your girl Max G right down here.
Man.
Yeah. You know who it is Big Al, the voice of IAXIS Radio. Yes. We here on a Saturday. We're doing our thing. Okay. First and foremost, man, we got to give a shout out to the man of the hour. He's not here today. Big Rich the Ruler.
Fact, shout out Rich.
Yeah, senior partner here at IAXIS Radio. Okay, he's got a birthday coming up. Okay, we getting ready to do that birthday celebration thing July 6th. I hope all y'all ready. Come out, support, so we can really have a great time, all right? We doing it big this year, so y'all don't want to miss it.
It's going to be a movie in there. You know what I mean? It's going to be a movie. I'm telling you. It's going to be a movie.
You think so?
It's going to be a movie.
You think
I'm
so?
telling you. You know what I mean? We got some of the fourth quarter boys up in there. We got some of the Lean brothers up in there.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? We got some of the BX brothers boys rocking up in there. It's going to be real heavy. Just remember, July 6th. It's going down.
It's going down.
Movie status.
Movie status. Y'all know who the headliner is on the movie, right?
Who's the headliner?
Big Al.
I got it. I've got a feeling it's going to be calling in. 347-708-0216. Once again, it's 347-708-0216. Or you can always hit us up at Ustream TV /IAXIS Radio Live. Or, Al, from my understanding, they can now get us on what? YouTube?
YouTube.
Ooh,
IAXIS Radio on YouTube. Y'all can watch us live right now. Go ahead and tune in. Okay, y'all see the visuals, and you'll be able to hear the music, everything. So y'all check us out on YouTube.
Oh, man, you heard what he said. And as I give you what you need and what you need to proceed, just remember, if you're cleaning your house or you're cleaning your cars, we here, IAXIS Radio. Let's go.
Locked up, they won't let me out. And I had a long day in court, stressed me out. Won't give me a bail, it can't get me out. Now I'm headed to the county, gotta do a bid here. I'm used to living luxurious, I don't wanna live here. The walls is gray, the clothes is orange. The phones is broke, the food is garbage. A lot of niggas is living with these circumstances. SP's the same, I still murk your manses. Drug money to rap money, work advances. Just ran and told I should've murked the Kansas. Got popped for a murder attempt. Knocked me on D block when I was burning the hemp. Had a brick in the stash, hope they don't take it to a further extent. Locked up and they won't let me out. When I hit my cell block, know to threat me out.
I'm steady trying to find the motive. Why do what I do? And freedom ain't getting no closer. No matter how far I go, my car is stolen. The registration. Cops patrolling. And now they done stop me and I get locked up. They won't let me out. They won't let me out. Locked up. They won't let me out. No, they won't let me out. Locked up. They won't let me out. They won't let me out. Locked up. They won't let me out. No, they won't let me out. Heading uptown to Rio, back with a couple peeps. The corner blocks on fire, and the covers dressed as fiends. Making so much money, products moving fast. Put away the stash as I sold the last bag down and got locked up. They won't let me out. They won't let me out. Locked up. They won't let me out. No, they won't let me out. I got locked up. They won't let me out. They won't let me out. I'm locked up. They won't let me out. No, they won't let me out.
Now that I'm locked up, I rep 2 sets, so I'ma ride or die and stay deep locked up. 2 toothbrushes up, whoever wanted repeat. When I walk by, get up, cause I'm locked up. They can't get me out. I smoke a stick of when they stress me out. Go and hit the bar when the wrecks be out. Can't wait for the day when they let me out.
This visitation no longer comes by. Seems like they forgot about me. Commissary is getting empty. My cellmates eating food without me. Can't wait to get out and move forward with my life. Got a family that loves me and wants me to do right, but still I'm getting locked up. They won't let me out. They won't let me go.
Newest acquisition to the number one DJ
Young One.
Number one pop star.
One.
I know how to make a girl feel.
One.
To make a girl feel. Make her feel good. All I wanna know is there any boys around that know how to make a girl feel. That wanna make a girl feel. Make her feel good. I just wanna know. Do I have to tell him how to touch me? Do I have to tell him how to hold me? Do I have to tell him when to call me? Do I have to tell him I'm lonely? Do I have to feel wrong when it ain't strong? Keep my mouth closed. Getting a girl from the hood tryna hold me, and ain't just tryna, he gon' love me. Do I have to show him I'm a woman? Do I have to apologize for my emotions? Do I have to tell him what to say to me every time he wanna get next to me? Do I have to settle for a cat that can't still stroke his ego? Girl, no. Can a chick from the hood find a homie that wanna do more than spend money on me?
But it's not the same. Now, I ain't in the big names, but I like nice things. I watch boxing matches and the football games. I wouldn't mind being an actress, but I love to sing. I like going out, taking walks and stuff. I don't remember many girls, cause they talk too much. I enjoy playing nights at home, the girl I'm next to. You know I ain't a virgin, that don't mean I'm having sex with you. There I go, I'm spotted, no doubt. And anything I want, I got it. Yeah, I have a brown eye, caramel complexion. I like the sunlight. Body like yes. No doubt. And anything I want, I got it. Yeah. Caramel complexion. Baby, look me in the eyes. Tell me yeah, I'm the kind of girl you like. I'm feeling you. 'Cause baby, you're my kind of guy. That's what it is. Think about it, you just might go with this all night long. And if you want me, we can keep this on. But let me tell you, I'm the type that's wrong. And I don't trust a lot of men, I'm independent. I ain't like some other men. I'm
lady. Oh, my baby doll. Oh, my baby shit. Lights out, ladies. Oh, my baby doll. Oh, my baby shit. Jacobs and clusters, busters, they wanted to rush us. Love the way you sparkle when the sun touches.
The ain't got no game, I'm breaking you out the frame, coming through like a train. Not gonna take over the whole world is my goal. With my unstoppable crew, taking all control. You can't get none of this, we're running this. Well, take up, earth shaker, 3-point gun in this. Get out the lane, I'm coming through, and if you don't wanna move, I'm coming right through you.
It's like inch by inch and step by step, I'm closing in on your position, and destruction is my mission. No, 8 is not enough, your whole squad better duck. It's like switch when I punch, now your whole crew is dust. Coming through my area, I'ma have to bury you. The real scream team on your screen scene. It's like showdown in the ring. Go tell me who wanna tangle with the ghetto witch doctor, neighborhood superhero.
On it all.
it's your girl Max G over here at IAXIS Radio. So before I get into the topics that I prepared for today, I really want to talk about role models, because I was on the phone with my friend the other night and I was telling him, about like how I got into music. And he's just like, well, who's your role model? And I'm like, that's a really hard question, because I don't really feel like I have a role model. I honestly feel like it is a sin for me to look up to somebody or want to be like somebody. I just kind of want to be the best I can be. But I want to know, like, did you guys have any role models growing up? Do you guys have role models? Pete, you can start.
Honestly, to me, I didn't really look up to anyone really that much, you know what I mean? Like, but honestly, I looked up to people like Big Daddy Kane, to be honest, because he was just a smooth dude. He was real smooth.
Facts.
He was a real ladies' man. So I always wanted to be like that, chains with the finger and a part in the head. You know what I mean? The crazy hair designs. Like, I looked up to him, and he was a dark-skinned dude, you feel me?
Facts.
So he gave me a lot of confidence as far as, like, skin complexion-wise, you know what I mean? So I was like, yo, I could be like this dude one day. So I always looked up to him, honestly.
I mean, I definitely have people that I favor or that I'm like, you know what, I really like this person, but, like, never I want to say, like, look up to, because I don't know. Like, when I say those words, it makes me feel like I'm trying to say, like, all right, I want to be just like this person.
Yeah, you don't feel
and
offensive.
It's like, I want to be just like me, because only I can be me. But, I have, like, favorite rappers. Like, if I had to pick a favorite rapper right now, like, I would pick DMX. I know a lot of people would judge me for that, but I really do not care. I feel like he is iconic, regardless of his personal life choices. Like, as far as music industry, like, I love DMX. But do you have role models growing up, Al?
Well, initially for me, my dad was my role model, up until, I hit a turning point in my life where, his presence wasn't there for a while. And then I started turning to things like books and information that I was finding out as a young kid to help me grow and to see where, I could be as an individual. And then also my two of my uncles, my mother's brothers, who I really looked up to. And again, because of the way things were back in the late 60s, early 70s, even that took a turn, to a negative. And I had to find my own way. For a lot of years, I was just lost, really lost. And I didn't know who to look up to, let alone trying to find a mentor or someone who I can follow behind in their footsteps,
Definitely. I mean, I've had mentors, like, in college. Like, I had a professor that mentored me. I did like, I like what she did for a living. I like how she conducted her life. I knew her life story on a personal note, and I knew what she'd been through and how she got to the success that she did. Mm-hmm. And I admire it, but I still wouldn't. I don't know. I like to choose my words wisely. I don't like to say role model. How about you, DJ Young One?
Yeah, I had a few people I looked up to. I mean, I had uncles. Like yesterday, I recently passed the laid to rest the uncle of mine who I looked up to very, very much. You know what I mean?
Yeah, my condolences to you, man. Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you,
and the family.
Thank you. He was very influential in my life. You know what I mean? If you read the post that I had, he was a brick in my foundation. You know what I mean? He was a musician in his earlier years. You know what I mean? And then turned into, what we call DJs now, this, that, and the other. But, his record collection was amazing.
That's dope.
You know what I mean? He got 60s, 50s, and he used to just play them. You know what I mean?
Right.
And going to his house, it was a beautiful thing. You know what I mean? The music and this, that, and the other. So, yeah, I looked up to him very much so. Without him, I don't even think I'd be standing here playing for y'all right now.
That's dope.
So, yeah, I have a lot of people I looked up to. He's one of them, so.
That's one thing I cannot say in my life. Like, I can't point out one person that has, like, pushed me to be where I am today. My experiences definitely have allowed me to grow and transition through things, but, like, there's no one that, like, yo, because of you, I wanted to rap. Yo, because of you, I wanted to do poetry. Like, everything was because of me. Like, not trying to take all the credit for myself, but it's like, I kind of just molded the person that I wanted to be, because I felt like growing up, I tried to please everybody. Like, all right, this person wants me to dance, let me dance. All right, this person wants me to do this, maybe I should do this. And now I got to the point, I'm like, well, what do I want to do? And for a long time, in my 20s, not trying to say I'm not in my 20s, y'all, I still am. But in my earlier 20s, I really was just like, yo, like, what do you want? What do you like? What do you dislike? I spent my whole life trying to please my parents, please people around me, teachers, friends. And I'm just like, I don't even know what I like. I don't even know what I'm good at. Like, I don't know. And I just really... I don't know. Like, I don't have any children, but if I do have kids, I definitely don't want them out there searching for themselves in other people. I want to know you guys' viewpoint on, like, how, you know, people try to say Cardi B or Beyonce, Nicki Minaj, just any top people in entertainment, not just music, how people try to bash them and it's like, oh, you're not a good role model. And it's like, well, why are you allowing your kids to look up to somebody on Instagram or somebody on TV who's a grown woman? Or how people try to judge Amber Rose, like, she's grown. How are you trying to tell she's a bad example for your 5-year-old? Your 5-year-old shouldn't even know who she is. So I don't understand how people are so quick to blame celebrities for their bad parenting in my eyes. Because when I was growing up, my mother controlled everything, and there was no one for me to look up to as far as idol-wise, because that wasn't put in my face as in, you need to watch this or pay attention to this or be like this person. So what's your viewpoint on that? Because you're a parent.
Yeah, I'm a parent and a grandparent. And I think what has happened in our society is that we've lost touch with our own community. So therefore, the people that are out there who are successful, we try to get our children to look at that as a way to aspire to be similar, not like them, but similar. But then again, there's a lot of people out there who they're pointing the finger to who they live dual lives and everything ain't peachy keen, and you know they've gone through some things and they got skeletons in their closet, and mothers, parents don't take the time out to do research on an individual before they say to their child, or you need to be like this one, or see this one successful. I mean, it's good to say that, okay, as a community, as a black community, that we have people who have been able to get past those obstacles and strive and become wealthy and famous. But is that the path that the good Lord has designed for that child? So again, it's about you knowing your child and what their gifts and talents are, because all gifts come without repentance. And that's one thing that I was able to tap into my children with, was finding out what their gifts was, what their strength was, what their weaknesses are, okay? And to be able to take the weaknesses and help them build on those so that they're not as weak in those areas, but also to take their gifts and just get to a point where they just expound on those gifts so they just phenomenal with it, you know? And I think that's what's missing.
Absolutely.
I agree with that, but as well as I think that our teenagers, I don't think we don't need to use celebrities as role models or someone to look to. I think that we need to start first within our own home. You know what I mean? Within our own area. You know what I mean? Uncle, like I said, there was many people I can look to as far as celebrities. And when I grew up, Shabba Ranks. I mean, as a dark-skinned Jamaican reggae artist at that time, to be blown up and I could look at him, but no, I had someone closer. You feel what I'm saying? So I think that's where we need to start first. And then once we have that, then we can look to our stars and our artists and our book writers or everything like that. You know what I mean? Let's start at home first.
Yeah, that's the problem with this generation. They don't know how to start at home. Like, what's good with you? Who raised you? Because my mother, you know, I criticized some of the ways that she raised me, but she did the best that she could. So that's all I could, you know, I could just respect it and choose to do things differently for my kid. But she ran things. She was very strict. It wasn't no outside sources running me. It wasn't the internet running me. It wasn't Facebook running me. It wasn't somebody up the block running me. Like, my mother, she ran things. Maybe a little too much, is in my opinion. Growing up, you know, I wish I would have had more freedom, because in my eyes, strict parents create sneaky children. And I mean, I had to sneak around and do what I wanted to do, but I snuck around for respect. Like, not that I was out there doing anything too crazy, but you know, you just want to be a kid. Like, all right, I want to do this. I don't want to come straight home after school. So, all right, I'm not going to go to school if I got to go straight home. I'm going to cut school, go do what I want to do throughout the day, and then come home at a decent hour. Like, I just did things my own way. Sorry, Mom. But I don't understand why parents do not raise their children anymore. I mean, I get that they're younger now than the older generation, but it's just like, I'm not about to be cursing out Cardi B in the comments because she's doing something that I don't want my daughter to do and my daughter's singing her song. Like, why is your 4-year-old singing Cardi B? Like, don't get me wrong. Her songs are great. I'm not going to take that from her, but I just don't understand why I see so many videos online of 3-year-olds and 4-year-olds like singing rap lyrics. Like, there were certain movies I wasn't even allowed to see as a child, let alone to be rapping a lyric back to back using the curse words and my mother filming me. That day will never come. Like, I'm baffled. I'd be like, what?
Well, I always say this. In the Bible, there's a verse that says, raise up a child in the way they should go, and they should never depart from it. Okay? That's the first rule of thumb. So if you raise your child doing certain things, when they become an adult, okay, they're going to do it even more.
Exactly.
Because you allowed it, okay? You didn't have a limit on what they could do. See, the problem with our society today is that we have children raising children. And those children that are raising the children were never given a foundation, the principles and the values to how to properly be true to themselves. You know, so again, they just winging it. And then you have that other sect of parents where you got the single mother or the single father raising a child, and daycare is expensive. Trying to get them through school, paying rent and things of that nature. So it's really about the money. Okay, you go to school, I'll go to work, we meet back here later. Okay, when you get home, you're so tired, maybe you'll fix a meal and you go to bed, but now the child is forced to raise themselves.
Yeah.
Okay, so where is the parenting? The parenting is lost in our communities and in the households of today.
You know, I agree with that because my mom was a single mom, so she worked a lot and she bartended. So my mom worked at night a lot. She would leave the house 8 p.m., come back home by 4 a.m. I know because my ass would be out at night and I'd make sure I'd be home before 4. And, you know, when my mom was always strict growing up, but then it's like, you know, I moved away and lived with my dad, and I came back home, and, you know, she wasn't really home like that. So even though she still found out what I was doing in school and all those other things, she wasn't really home. So it's like I kind of did what I wanted. So then when she tried to add more structure to my life, I'm kind of like, yo, it's too late. Like, son, I've been doing me, doing my own thing, surviving by myself. Like, go to work. Do what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? And I do not want that to happen with my kids. I do not want to be so worried about providing an income for them that I'm so far away from parenting that if I tell you to do something, you looking at me like I'm crazy because I'm never even home to tell you what to do. And you're just like, bitch, who are you talking to? Like, I'm not trying to establish that type of relationship with my child, but it's hard when you are by yourself and you out working all day and you come home and you just want to take a nap and she want to go to her friend's house and you're just like, okay, you're not even checking to see what she wearing, where she going, who she really going to be with. Like, even nowadays the way these kids dress, I'm like, if I went outside like that,
oh my God.
If I went outside like that,
oh my God,
my neck would be wrang. Like, I would. My head would jerk back. My mom would snatch my neck so fast. Like, I'm literally lost. I'm like, how are you wearing this?
Again, you know, like I said before, we have children raising children, okay? Because the things that you see these children doing are the same things that their parents did. So here it is, right? Let me give you a scenario. You come downstairs, you're on your way to school, right? I'm going to use a female as an example. I'm not picking on nobody. I'm going to use a female. You're 13 years old, you come downstairs with a halter top dress on and you're going to school. It's fitting you so tight that I could see your blood vessels through the dress, right? And mom tells you to go up and change. Now you go up and change, you put on the school uniform, but you got your backpack with you, okay? And you walk out the door. Mom or dad never takes the time out to check the backpack. And what you got in there?
Your little halter.
You got the dress that they just told you to take off. Okay, you get to school and you put it on. Okay, now you get a call from the principal or whoever, the guidance counselor, whoever, calls mom and look, your daughter came to school dressed inappropriate and impossible. I saw her when she left.
Yeah.
Okay. We got to stand up and start parenting. You know, my mother was a strict woman, okay? She raised 4 of us by herself. My mother was stricken with multiple sclerosis at the age of 27. And up till probably my 15th birthday, My mother went upside my head when I didn't do things right. Me and my sisters and my cousin, who was my brother, that was raised with us. My mother did not play, and she was sick. You know what I mean? So again, if she can do it, okay, then there's nothing wrong with the rest of us being able to do it. See, I knew right from wrong. I knew when not to do certain things. When I did my dirt, I made sure I kept it away from people who I knew could contact my mother or my father and tell them what was going on. Okay? And let me tell you something. About time I was 18 years old, I had seen it all, done it all, but I had enough. But I had enough common sense to say to myself, I don't want that life for me anymore. I'm going to move forward, and I'm going to do all the things that is required of me so I can have a successful life.
Yes.
I mean, you have to understand, too, as well, when we grew up, we didn't have, Facebook, Instagram, tweet, or Twitter. Or,
you said Tweety.
Tweet or Twitter. Whatever, because I don't even use that.
Yeah,
that's how I am. I don't even use that. You feel what I'm saying? But we didn't have that. We didn't have PS4, PS3, PS2, PS1. We didn't have Nintendo. We didn't have the Wii. We didn't have all this stuff when we grew up.
We had Atari and Commodore 64.
There we go. That's all we had. You feel what I'm saying? We had that, and that was a luxury.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? If you had an Atari, listen, it was an Atari party. You had your friends that lived in the building. Listen to the key word, in the building. Not lived around the corner on the next block or 2 other blocks. Who lived in the building, the kids that lived in the building, they found you had Atari. Listen, your moms will allow you to bring the TV into the hallway and bring the Atari out there. Then you're able to play. That's how parents kept their eye on the kids in the neighborhood. You feel what I'm saying? That's how I was growing up. In the neighborhood, kids with the parents was watching each other's kids. You feel what I'm saying? That's how it was growing up where we didn't have to worry about it.
They want to link up to drink and get a babysitter. They don't want to link up.
Nowadays, parents are throwing their kids right in front of a PlayStation, right in front of a Wii.
They give them their phones before they could even talk. I'm like seeing babies with phones. I'm like, why are you damaging their eyes?
Right.
Why don't you play with your child? Read them a book. Teach them the alphabet. Something.
Thank you.
If you don't want to be a parent, do not be a parent. That is my viewpoint on it. Me personally, I know I will have kids in the future, but right now I know I do not want a kid. And if I had a kid, I would give my kid up for adoption. I know it's easier said than done, but right now I would not be the best parent I could be. I've been raised pretty well. I know right from wrong. I'm not stupid, but there's still so much out here that I'm learning in the world. I'm not trying to be learning. I mean, you learn forever, but I'm not trying to be learning while trying to raise someone else and teach you something, and I'm still trying to figure it out. Because there's so many things in life that I feel like my parents instilled in me, but to me in life, you have to learn, unlearn, and relearn. There are going to be things that your parents taught you that you find out when you get older, and you're like, yo, I don't justify with this, or I don't believe this, or this is not my viewpoint on it. But you were raised that way, but now you have to unlearn those behaviors and relearn new behaviors. And I feel like some people do not allow themselves time to do that in life. They just feel like whatever they knew from young, that's just what they got to ride with forever. You think because your parents told you that it's the truth? You think because your parents told you that it makes it right? No. Parents, half of the time when you get older, you really realize your parents didn't even know what the hell they were doing. They was trying to figure it out while having you. And you realize that if you really want to pay attention to your life, I realized that my mom she was winging it. Parents are winging it. Learning all right, well, damn, this ain't work, so I'm gonna do this now, and just trying different methods. And that girl you described who hid her clothes in her butt back, I was that kid. I wasn't taking halter dresses to school, but we had to wear uniform, and ain't nobody want to wear uniform, so I would wear jeans underneath my uniform pants and then go to school and change my clothes. But at the end of the day, I'm just as disloyal as that child was to her parent. Whether I was wearing something inappropriate or not, my ass walked outside the house in khakis and I'm coming home in blue jeans. You know what I'm saying? That could be a problem. Maybe I got kidnapped. Anything could happen. It's well, this is what she wore outside, but you don't even know what your kid got on.
That's right.
Or what they doing or what's really going on. And I've watched so many people change their clothes in school. It's nobody wanted to be in uniform. Nobody wanted that. We all wanted to be fly and wear our flyest gear. But I'm definitely happy, my mom stayed on top of me, because there are things that she did growing up that I was just yo, when I get older, I'm not doing this to my kids. And I don't even have kids now. And I'm yo, I take that shit back. I'm definitely doing that to my kid, because we don't even know what we want. We say we do. You know, we say we ask for freedom. We don't need no damn freedom. We need somebody to ring our asses in and tell us what to do, where to go, how to do it, how to get it done, what time to be done, and when to go to bed. Like, you feel like you don't need those things, but you really, really do. Like, even something as simple as making your kid have a bedtime.
Right.
It adds so much structure to their life. And, you know.
Well, you know what, Max? Kudos to you for wanting to be a better you and being unselfish and wavering with it, so that before you bring a child into this world, you know exactly what you're doing with your life. Okay, and I wish a lot of women thought the way that you did, because it will make a big difference in the way people are raised and young people are raised. Also, I'm glad that you mentioned that bedtime thing. Time management is so important in life. And if you don't teach your child time management at an early age, when they become adults, they will never be able to how to figure out anything. Because that's really what it's about. When you become a certain age, you got to be able to manage your time in order to get things done. Okay, and that's why a lot of people miss out on their rate of success in life, because they didn't get that as a child. So again, they winging it. Yeah. Every day, they just trying to figure it out. There's no structure. There's no time constraints. They're like, okay, I'll do this now. And then with the thing that they really needed to get to, they never got to it because they didn't plan or use time management to make sure that it was going to happen for them.
I feel like a lot of these parents are definitely raising failures, you know, and I hate to say it, because it's like, you know, you baby your kids so much, or I'll wake you up, or I'll do this for you, I'll do that for you. Shout out to the parents that still do stuff for their kids, because there's a lot of kids out here winging it by themselves with parents in the household. So, you know, shout out to them, but it's like you're enabling them to be a failure, because now when they move out and they get on their own, they expecting mommy to wake them up, mommy to have dinner.
Yeah, if they move out.
If they move out. But you know what? Let's talk about it, though, because I feel like women throw their daughters out before they ever throw their sons out. Like, my mom threw me the out, you know what I'm saying? But I don't know if I ever would have. I mean, I definitely would have left on my own, but I probably would have left when I felt more comfortable leaving. Right. Versus, like, I feel like if I was her son, I feel like I would still be living with her now. Right. Like, I feel like this society definitely be babying these boys. These boys are not men.
I have to agree with you on that, because I know so many young women who were kicked out of the house, okay, because they didn't comply with their mother. Instead of the mother sitting down with them, trying to teach them and raise them properly and show them how to properly conduct yourself and what you're going to face out here in this world if you don't do certain things now. You know what I mean? Again, we got to stop giving up on our children. Okay. We got to believe that what we brought into the world is so precious to us that we're willing to die for them. Okay, and that's what's wrong with today's society. You have children that go out there and get involved in drugs and wind up being addicted to drugs, alcohol. They have addiction to pornography, some turn to criminals, whatever it may be, okay? There was something in their lives most of the time, or something that they were traumatized by, the reason for them going into those areas. Okay, and as parents, we have to recognize that and know and understand that there's a healing process. There's a wilderness that child is, or that individual is going to go through, and we got to be able to say, okay, I have to be a support to them, whether it be positive or negative, but still have to be a support to them so that I could help them through this thing.
Exactly.
Okay? My oldest son will be 41 years old next month, and anytime that dude call me and he needs an ear, I'm there for him. Okay?
Yeah.
I'm there for him.
This black generation, because I can't really speak for other races, no offense, because I'm black, you know, I'm not trying to discredit my people, but I feel like we give up so quick. It's like, you're 18, get the F out of my house, I don't got time to be feeding you, or get a job, but I'm gonna take all your money so you can never learn how to save or do anything with it. And it's like, I watch so many of my friends go through that, and then it's like, you know, I have friends from Pakistan who live with their parents up until they get married, and their parents know they're gonna be successful and know they're gonna be okay. Why are you kicking your kid out before you know if they're gonna be okay? Then when they come around for family barbecues, you want to talk shit about how they're not doing nothing with their life. Like, well, maybe if you would have allowed them to do something with their life. It takes time. It's not like it was back in the day where you just go out at 18 and you get married and have a kid, and it's just like everything's all simple. Like, no, when I was a kid, I was like, I'm moving out at 18. Psh, if I could laugh at myself then, I wish I could go back and tell myself, like, baby girl, it's not going down like that. It's not that simple. Yeah, I just thought, well, once I was 18, like, it was over. And I don't want my kids thinking like that. I don't want my kids to be worried about like, damn, like your mom about to put me out, you know, I'm about to turn 18, I don't got a job or I can't help her with the rent. Like, I don't believe in your children helping you with the rent. I'm sorry. Criticize me, nail me to the cross. I really don't care. I don't believe in that. Your kids should be saving money. Saving money. If you're not pushing them to save money, or they're not using that little money they're making to go to school and stuff, I don't think you should be taking it from them. And I'm tired of y'all putting your bills in your kids' name too. Like, y'all need to stop all that shit, messing up our damn credit before we can even get anything.
Yeah, I don't know where that came from.
Messing up my credit before I could even own something.
I think
that is bad.
Come on.
I think as far as, you know, when a teenager is growing up into a young adult, I think a parent, like for me, for example, I don't think my wife and I took the money and used it this, that, and other. We put it to the side, but we tell him, yes, you're paying your portion this, that, and the other, but it's put to the side for him in case of emergency.
That's different. You're putting it to the side and you using my little money to pay the light bill.
You know what I mean?
Mom.
We take it and put it to the side, you know what I mean? Because number one, we're showing him actuality when you move out or when you leave out. This is what you're going to be doing. You're going to be paying rent.
Right.
Wherever you're going to go, wherever you're going to be at, you're going to be paying rent.
That's a
You know what I mean? So why not start it now? You're over the age. You feel what I'm saying? You know, you're working this, that, and the other. Just like that timing when you know, putting your child to sleep, this, that, and the other, to get the timing thing down, this, that, and the other.
Right.
That's part of life as well.
Absolutely.
We got to know when to pay that rent.
That.
You know what I mean? You got to know when to pay that light bill. You got to know when to pay that car medicine bill.
That.
So if you're doing that way, then yeah. But if you're taking your child's money and spending it on a pair of new sneakers, this, that, and other, then no.
I'm talking about
that's
those
a problem.
I'm talking about those parents.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
But doing it that way is much easier. I mean, not more easier, but showing them a way of being
You're
more
showing
an
them
adult.
life, especially in New York City. You ain't getting nothing for free, boo. Like, you're going to be paying to live in a closet, and that's just that. But here's the thing. Like, when I was in college, I had a job. You feel me? My mom kept telling me to save. I was the one sneaking shopping bags in through the crib. Like, I could not save money for the life of me. And that was one thing I really, really wish I would have listened to my mom over, with saving money, because I did not realize how important it was. And then it got to a point where it was like, all right, I wasn't saving my money, had nothing to show for it, so she started making me pay rent money. You know what I mean? But it transpired into that. It didn't start off as her just taking my money from me working my little job. It was me not saving. Like, oh, so since you don't want to save and you can help around the house, you know what I mean? I respect that. But when you just go and you don't need to, and you taking their money and you buying little things, or, you know, you take their money and say you bought this for them with their money, like, I don't like parents who do stuff like that. Don't do that. Like, when I have kids, before I even give birth to them, they will have a trust fund set up, because I think it's so important for kids to have money to go into. Not all your kids are not going to be track stars, football stars, basketball players. I know we black, but look, it's not going to happen for everybody. So you can't just expect them to ride full scholarship. I'm not a big pressure on college, but if that's something you want to go to, I would like to have money in the bank for you to just be like, all right, well, if you want to go to school, here's for your first semester, and, you know, for whatever you need, or here's the money for your first car. This is your money. You know what I'm saying? Like, you need to have some type of responsibility, because when kids just think you got money for everything, it's like, oh, I broke this. Like, buy me a new phone. Like, oh, you got me f***ed up. Like, you better get to cutting some grass or something. Not that I want you to go without, but I see kids who get a lot and have no regard or no appreciation for it. You know, oh, I lost my phone. Like my niece, she just lost her phone for the second time. My dad was like, you know, I have the money to buy her a new phone, but she gonna have to wait about a month. She needs to suffer because this is the second phone I'm getting you within 6 months. They're not cheap. And I'm like, I believe that you should teach her a lesson. She needs to go without it. You know, but these kids who, I was watching this video. It was this little CP girl. CP means clear people. Don't take offense. It was a little CP girl, and she had an iPad, and she was like 5 or 6, and she was just like popping stuff about her parents, and that she made her parents buy her 2 other iPads. Like, she had like 4 iPads in the video, and I'm just like, there's no way my kid will be this evil. Like, I will not be raising a little demon. like someone who just expects hand out and doesn't expect to work for nothing or has no regard for nothing or doesn't know the worth for working for something. Like, that's really important for kids to know like, my kids have to do chores. Like, I don't care how wealthy I am. I don't care if I got a maid. You have to do chores because you need to understand that people work hard for things.
Yeah. I hear you on that. There's so many reasons why our society has so much problems in it. And again, I don't care what nobody tells me, it starts in the home.
Amen.
We as parents must teach our children about education. We must teach them about finances. We must teach them about daily living, cleansing,
Tell them out.
Being able to do chores, being able to cook the basic necessities, because here it is.
Boil
when
an
you're on
egg.
your own, you're going to have to do all those things for yourself. And if nobody ever taught you, guess what? You lost in oblivion. You won't know what to do. Okay? So there's a time when you're growing up and you're biting your tongue, or, oh, I got to take the garbage out, or now I got to wash dishes. But you don't understand it's a training ground preparing you for adult life.
Yeah, who the hell you think coming to take your garbage out? The doorman?
You were talking about the financing. Here's the thing. First and foremost, after your child has gone to school and they've been able to add and subtract, you need to sit that child down and give them the truth. Okay, we pay bills around here. Okay, there's a phone bill, there's a light bill, there's a water bill, there's a mortgage. Okay, mommy and daddy ain't rich. Okay, but because we know how to balance a budget, pay bills, and figure out the finances, we're able to survive and do what we need to do. And here's the things that you're going to have to do eventually one day. So I want to prepare you, start giving you a little allowance, okay? That way you could take your money, okay, and balance it out so that you budget yourself so that certain monies is allocated to certain things. And then also you got to consider to put away a certain amount of money so that you'll have something just in case of a rainy day. These are the things that children aren't getting. A lot of us didn't get it growing up, okay? And I think that that's something that even though it's supposed to start at home, the schools got to start, education system got to start taking more responsibility on making sure that our children are given all the things that are necessary so that they can be well-rounded people when it's time for them to become adults in today's society.
Yeah, because X plus Y still ain't working for me out in life. That shit ain't taught me nothing. I still know how to do algebra, but
that's the funny thing about it, because like when I went to school, there were certain things that were shown to me, like how to read a stock exchange, how to read the stock exchange,
right.
How to read read things like that. I mean, but nowadays in like things that's going on now, I don't even see that in the classes no more. You feel what I'm saying? They're not setting them up for succeeding.
Let me tell you what the school education system has come to. Okay, what they do is they prepare children to take exams.
That's it.
They're preparing you for incarceration, honestly, in my eyes.
They prepare you to take an exam. So after you take the exam, you feel that you succeeded in everything. But guess what? You know nothing about life. You know nothing about being able to go on a job interview.
Right.
First and foremost, to get a job. How you supposed to dress? Okay, what's the first impression you supposed to make when you meet somebody? Even on a social level, to be sociable in society, you must conduct yourself in a certain way in order for somebody to receive you and to take you seriously. You know, when I was coming up, they had etiquette classes.
Yeah.
Okay, they taught us how to set a table. Okay, they taught us how to. It wasn't called dating; it was called courting. Okay, there was a certain way that a young man was supposed to present himself to a young lady's parents before he even asked the girl if we can court.
Yes.
You understand? Society has lost all of that.
You need some of them classes.
And we need to get back to basics. You know, this new technology is wonderful, but I feel like this. If we go back, take this new technology and go back to basics and intertwine the two together, the world will be an amazing place.
Facts.
It would be an amazing place. Let me give you all a story.
Ooh.
My second oldest grandson, right? This kid, now, my son wasn't in his life, you know, like he should have been, but his mother raised him to a point where this kid became out so phenomenal. He got a full scholarship to UNC, right? I think he got one more year to go. He left yesterday to get on a plane to go to South Korea on his educational university program.
Yes.
Okay? When he was in high school, he learned how to speak Chinese. Okay? This kid excelled in academics every which way you could think of. But here's the crazy thing. He wasn't really into sports. And he didn't start playing sports, I think, until his sophomore year of high school. But he was a phenomenal football player by the time he graduated high school. You understand? So again, when I talk about those single parents that I hear out there complaining about, oh, it's hard, but it's what you instill in that child. It's what you give that child that breeds success. And his mother, I call her my daughter. She ain't my biological daughter, but that's my daughter. I love her with everything that I am. She called me. I don't care what it is. She got it. You hear me? Because of the love that I have for her, for what she's done for my grandchild. Listen, it's amazing to me. It's amazing to me. And Nikki, thank you, baby. I love you. Okay? Because
Shout out,
without
Nikki.
you,
Oh,
Jamari
wow.
wouldn't be who he is today.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Facts.
I mean, he was that kid, right? I think it was every other week. First it was every other weekend, and then once a month I would go get him. Me and him hang out. First stop, we go to this place that he liked. We go get the ice cream. Okay, that's why I got a big stomach now. Every night, boy, me and him, we get ice cream, we get the cake. In the mornings, he wake up, he gotta have his waffle, eggs, and applesauce. That's his favorite breakfast. Okay, but I know that because I spent time with my grandchild. You see, and that's what we need. We need to know our children and our grandchildren.
Yes.
How many people can tell you those things about their grandchild?
My family
You know
still
what
be
I
trying
mean?
to feed me chicken. I'm like, I haven't eaten meat in 3 years. Damn, catch up. Love me. Damn.
Yeah.
That's what's up. You know what I mean? Just remember, you logged in, you tune in to IAXIS Radio, Big Rich the Ruler Show. You can call in 347-708-0216, 347-708-0216, or you can log in Ustream TV /IAXIS Radio Live, or you can catch us on YouTube.
IAXIS Radio.
IAXIS Radio. You feels me? You feel me?
Yes. I am the voice of IAXIS Radio. Sitting next to my co-host, the new co-host of IAXIS Radio, Miss Max. Okay, we love her to death. We want to welcome her to the team. Big Rich, what's going on, man? Got to shout you out again, man. Without you, we wouldn't be able to do this.
Restricted zone.
Right now, that if it wasn't for Big Rich, there would be no IAXIS Radio.
Yeah.
He is really the brainchild behind this whole thing, man.
Yes,
I mean,
indeed.
I put it together. We sat down. I put it together, but this thing was his idea. He brought
His
it to
baby.
me. His baby. He was like, yo, Al, I'm telling you, man, this thing is dope. We could do it, blase. At first, I was like, nah, I don't want to be bothered.
But now look at you.
His perseverance, right? His perseverance, not mine. His perseverance opened my eyes to look at it and see the vision. And when I was able to see the vision, I was like, yo, Rich, let's run with this, man. Let's run with this.
And no regrets ever since.
No regrets. Now look at us, the future of internet radio.
Bam.
No limit to what we do.
Ooh, we going
You know
on
what
my
I mean?
third year with this family.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
yes,
yeah.
indeed. I'm very privileged and honored to be part of the IAX Radio team.
Yeah,
I'm going on my third year.
You was here right when we first started. I think we went maybe 4 or 5 shows. Then you came aboard.
Yes, indeed.
Oh yeah.
And like I said, Big Rich, much respect, much love, giving a young man a chance to come rock your show. And I'm doing it ever since. It's an amazing thing. It's definitely an amazing thing.
It's been
You know
a
what
blessing,
I mean?
man.
In spite of the fact I'm not rocking your first Fridays, but it's all good. We're going to get that worked out. We're going to get that worked out. You feel what I'm saying? Your man ain't up in first Fridays yet, but we're going to get that worked out. July 6th, it's going
6th.
down.
Yes,
that movie,
Uh-huh.
you know what I mean? With all the fourth quarters and the Lean Brothers in the building. Yeah, your boy's going to be in the building.
Yes,
Ooh,
yes,
wee.
yes, yes.
Yes.
Yo,
Closing
please
it
come out and support.
Yes.
So you guys, I want to, since we were kind of talking about children already, I'm going to switch my topics around. I had something else planned, but I really want to know y'all opinion on these kids having Instagram. Because I keep getting like children followers and I go on their page, I'm like, yo, this little girl got to be like 8 or 12. Like, how the hell did you get an Instagram? When I was growing up, I wasn't allowed to have like, I had a MySpace because that was popular when I was a kid. But my mom like would look my page up like if I even had something inappropriate, not that I did, like my mom was on top of it. What is y'all opinion on children having social media sites? Would you be the parent to shut it down? Are y'all going just regulate it, allow it? Should it be permission granted?
I honestly think anything, especially now with social media or anything, a child under 10, 12 shouldn't be on it. You know what I mean? Because of the fact it's, at the end of the day, it's an adult type of forum. Adult things take place on this forum. So I think a child, I mean, honestly, under 17, I mean, but I'm trying to be broad about it. I'm like trying to, but because no, because there's a lot of things like there's a lot of like, if there's a site for, you know, kids or things of that nature, I'm all for it. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, Facebook, Instagram, it's a grown person's forum. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of things that's going on where children shouldn't be part of. They shouldn't be allowed to be part of it.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? And it starts with the Instagram and Facebook. Let's be honest, because they have the control over it. You know what I'm saying? Because once, for example, when you first start with Facebook, you got to sign in. You know what I'm saying? You got to put an age on Facebook. Once they see that you're under a certain age, I don't think your access to Facebook should be limited to certain things.
I think the age limit for Facebook, I think it starts at like 13. I want to say, I'm not 100% sure, but I think it's 13.
But that's the problem right there.
That's
because
what I'm saying. What do you have a Facebook for?
You have a forum for adults. Facebook, Instagram, at the end of the day, is an adult forum. You know what I'm saying? I think that's when that's what it was generated for the adults.
Definitely.
You know what I'm saying?
Remember when Facebook came out, all the old people was mad happy. It was like, oh, I'm
so
all my friends
we
from
need
high
to
school
have that.
here.
Have a child lock, you should say, a child proof parental guidance on Facebook and Instagram. Once they log in 15 and it shows, and the thing about it, a child may try to play that little trick of, okay, let me put 1972 or this, that, and the other. You know what I mean? Or something to that effect, this, that, and the other. But once you takes that picture, you know what I'm saying? And see that face, it's a wrap. But oh no, you're like music. I mean, if you're gonna ban me for playing music, why not ban these little teenage little kids off of Facebook?
Thank you. So here it is, and it's real simple. The United States has already spelled it out for us. So let me give you all a perfect example. When you go to the movies, there are 4 ratings, right? So you have G, which has an age limit attached to it. Mm-hmm. You have PG, which has an age limit attached to it. You have R, and then you got MA, right? Excuse me. So if parents follow that guideline, it tells them if your child is 13 and under, they should not be on Facebook because Facebook is at a higher PG level and on up, right? Once a child reaches 13, now it's about how mature is the child to be able to handle the PG. You know what I mean? Because, again, I'll tell you, my mother was strict. I didn't get a chance to go to a PG movie until I was 14 because my mother didn't feel that at age 13 I was mature enough, okay? And then after I was mature enough, when it got to the R-rated movies, okay, my mother would say to me, when you go out there and you watch that movie, anything you see in that movie, you don't bring it back home. Okay, don't think you can see something on the screen and think you can act that way and be that way, or you're gonna have a problem
with it.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
So again, it goes back to us raising children properly. At the end of the day, so no, a child should not have a Facebook account at 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years old.
Yeah, every time
even
I
at
see
13, it should be questionable. It should be questionable based on the maturity of that child and what you've instilled in that child.
Unless you got a little famous child that's doing something spectacular, their asses don't need to be on social media.
But even if they're famous, they don't
even be.
I'm saying though, if you have your kid and they dance or whatever and you're controlling it, I don't see anything wrong with it.
But that's just it.
Right, yeah, if you're controlling.
But there's a difference. You're putting it on your Facebook page. You're not putting it on their Facebook page.
Well, some of these parents do be starting up like starting up pages for their children, but it's
But that's the
ran
problem.
by them. But I'm just like,
I'm not gonna do that.
To be honest though, like there's so much. I hate to bring it up. There's so many pedophiles out here and people who get off on watching children, and you're just like putting your kid like on the market. I feel like you're just putting your kid out there to.
You're making them vulnerable.
Pretty
to
much.
all of the predators
Creeps.
out there. Okay? All the predators. Because you got people out there doing all kinds of stuff. You know what I mean? So again, we have to have a mindset that we got to protect our children. By any means necessary, okay? We have to find enough passion in our heart, enough love for our children to say, you know what? For right now, child, to protect you, I'm not exposing you to these things.
Yeah.
Okay, you could tell them about it, teach them about it as you raise them up. But until they understand what it is and know how to fight that battle if they ever encounter it, you gotta keep protecting them. You have to.
Even some of these shows that are for children, to me, are not for children because the jokes in there, I'm just like, who's letting their kids watch this? Like, I'm literally not understanding it. And it's like parents are so blind to it. And I'm just like, bro, like, these jokes are like for me and I'm grown. So I don't understand. Like, when I was a kid, my godfather used to love Family Guy. When I was a kid, I didn't know what Family Guy was. So I watched one episode one night and I was like, this shit is not funny. Like, first off, love Family Guy. I die laughing at it now, but I didn't realize then that it was adult humor. I just saw a cartoon and figured it was for me. And he told me, he's like, it's not for kids. That's why you don't find it funny. And now as an adult, like, I love to watch Family Guy because it's hilarious, but it just goes to show you, like, there are mad kids out there who watch Family Guy because kids were telling me about it as a kid, and I didn't understand. I'm like, this shit is not funny. Like, I don't get the joke.
See, but here's the other thing. Family Guy is what's called an adult cartoon. Okay? And that's the key, adult. Okay? Don't look at it just as a cartoon. It's for adults. And parents got to read, and they got to take heed to what television is putting out or describing this thing as. So you see a cartoon with little Stewie and you want to laugh because Stewie's funny, but don't expose your child to that because it's not for children. It's like, for adults.
I think like Futurama and all that other stuff.
It's all adult cartoons.
Bob's Burgers, everything. But these kids know about it like it's the Rugrats, and that's what bothers me. Like, bro, I just started watching this like last year. How you more on than me? And you watch the seasons. You know everybody names. You getting all the inappropriate jokes that I would have never gotten as a kid because my mom didn't play that, and neither did my dad. Like,
yeah, but let me tell you how bad TV has gotten now. Cartoon Network has a certain hour it goes into all their adult content. Yeah. Right? And there's a show on Cartoon Network. I don't know if it's still airing, but it was called More Oral. Okay? And that show is like a throwback of this cartoon that used to come on called Davy and Goliath. But the problem is it opens up, okay, and the father is like chastising the child, but it's supposed to be a religious environment, right? And then you see the father pulling up his pants and then the kid pulling up his pants in the opening. Okay, so when I saw it the first time, I was like, wait a minute, wait. Something's wrong with this picture. So I go back to it, and sure enough, every episode, whenever the father chastises the child, they pulling up their pants.
Yo, I'm so sick.
Is that crazy? What type of message are you sending?
Yo, I have nothing against people who are gay, nothing against you, but I'm literally tired of them pushing homophobia, whatever you want to call it, on television, on everybody. Like, I was watching Fox, and I was watching, I think, what's that show with Taraji? I sound like an old person because I can't think of the show.
I couldn't tell you. I'm not into some of them.
Pete, come on, you young. Yeah, there we go. I'm mad you came to the mic like that. I was watching it. Me and my girlfriend, we were hanging out. We was watching it or whatever. And like the makeout scene came on between two guys. And literally I was covering my eyes like I was a 5-year-old back in the day when I would see like a boob on the TV. Like, oh, I don't want to see that. And I have nothing against people who are gay, again. But why is this on Fox TV at 8 p.m. for family time? Like, I don't understand this. Or, you know, watching Love and Hip Hop and, you know, seeing the two guys in the bed. Again, I have nothing against gay people. But why? Back in the day, they didn't even show couples in the bed together. They went to bed in separate beds.
There
in
you
full
go.
full-fledged pajamas, and now you got men rolling around topless making out with each other. Like, I feel like this industry is pushing people to be gay. I'm not trying to blame anybody's gayness on TV or something, but I feel like when you got these little 5-year-olds talking about I don't think I'm a boy, I think I'm a girl, and these parents taking their sons to the nail salon to get nail polish color, or letting him wear dresses because you just letting him pick his gender. And I don't believe you got to push your kid to play football because he a boy, but you be damned if I'm damn sure let my son dress up like he's Ariel the princess. Like, no, the fuck you're not. We're not doing that. And I have a problem with parents who do that to their children, because it's like you just setting them up, or you pushing them to be something that you find to be popular right now.
But again, the parents are brainwashed, okay? They want to be trendy. They want to be involved. I'm doing this. I just have something to talk about. No, what you need to be talking about is the education process. You need to be talking about how I'm raising my kid properly. We'll talk about the principles, the values, and the morals that you're teaching them. That's what you need to be doing. You know, this don't make no sense. These TV, I don't even watch TV, okay? It's too graphic.
I have a television.
It is just too graphic. It doesn't make sense.
It's been in the box for about 8 months now in my house. Just in the box. Like, nah, I try to... Because TV is brainwashing. And I didn't realize it until I started doing research on it. And I used to watch Love and Hip Hop every week. I mean, religiously. Like, I was addicted to it, right? And one day, I found myself, like, getting upset. And I'm just like, yo, I'm about to throw a drink on this. And I'm just like, yo, where did you get that type of behavior? Like, what is good with you? Like, that's not how we conduct ourselves now in my life. I'm not 16 anymore, where it's just like, you say something I don't like and I'm going to fight you. I'm a grown woman, and why am I thinking about throwing a drink on somebody saying something I do not like? And I started to filter out what I was watching, and then I started to change back into myself. And I'm like, this is why everybody going crazy, because you're watching all this craziness on TV. You're watching these men disrespect their wives. You're watching these women allow their men to do disrespectful things to them. You're watching them shake their ass for whatever amount of money they getting, or, you know, conduct themselves in ways that they truly are not, just to get a check. But now it's making you conduct yourself that way because you think it's cute. Like, I'm just like, bruh, like, I'm so happy I caught myself and realized that what TV was doing to me personally. I'm not going to say everyone who watches television is going to be permitted to just, you know, I'm not saying you're going to go watch Freddy versus Jason and you want to go around killing people. I'm not trying to say that. But if you watch enough of it, that's what's in your mind.
Well, people got to understand is that our brain is an awesome, awesome place. I mean, awesome thing to have that God has given us. But planting seeds, okay, could turn us to a negative or a positive. And it's how strong that brain is, how strong your will is, how strong your understanding is, how strong your individuality is whether something can turn you, okay? And again, like you're saying, if you show somebody something enough, eventually they're going to believe it. It's just like with music. Sometimes you might hear a song, you're like, oh, that's trash. And then they just keep drilling and drilling and drilling to you. Next thing you know, subliminally, you're singing it. But that's how they plant seeds.
That's happened to me a couple of times.
That's how they plant seeds. All you got to do is put something before somebody and keep putting it before them. After a while, instinctually, you're going to recognize that thing. Okay, and you got to be strong enough to say to yourself, is this a positive or a negative? If it's a negative, I got to cast it out and shut it down right now. If it's a positive, I'm going to use it to my advantage, and I'm going to make this thing work for me. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
But we all got to use our brain to think. Okay, so it's been a long, long conversation.
Yo,
okay, we're going to take a music break.
Yo,
okay, DJ Young One.
We good, yo.
You know, it's wonderful. Thank you, Max.
Thank you.
Thank you, Max.
Sorry, Young One.
Nah. Listen.
Took over his scratching time. Like,
you ain't take over nothing. Listen.
When you going to let me drop a beat?
Yo, it's none of that. None of that. Know what I mean? Like I said, we can always call in 347-708-0216. 347-708-0216. Or you can log in, Ustream TV /IAX Radio Live. Or you can catch us on YouTube, IAXIS Radio. You feel me? As we continue like this, let's go.
Number one DJ.
DJ Young One.
Number one pop star.
Me a couple dog, me know that dead for me. That I say love, that I say loyalty.
DJ Young One.
Family just remember me. I have to protect the dog, them member enough for it. The money, the fame, no mean nothing to me. If you are free, one of my brother, then you want to free me. After all,
Dog and us a weird pan a call. 4 rifle in up on a wall. On my yard. Drive up, pull up on foot. Boys spread out like saying damn yard. That I road like dog. Yeah, we a go hard, we a go hard. This is for bread that you must mad. That a good down a mag. Who me not like and I like. Who me a why, you a why. You me a couple dog. Go bust any head for me. Get us a no, get us a lion to me. Family just remember me. Don't think we police. Kick off door boy, get it in his slate. You are be one of the men that move from my kitchen.
Still I want build. How a leap I try, we have to try around here before we see the top of the hill. All my people out there, keep your head up for me. Don't let this life change you. They won't appreciate you. All my people out there, keep your head up for me. Don't let this life change you. Real ones appreciate you. Yo, you see the IG likes and Facebook hype. Don't make that change who you are. No for them burn them bridge, but them one bright light when they told them can't join by the fire. So yo, from your love your lane, stay in your lane, work hard, success not the fire. So when I see your next man rise, don't bad mind, soon your time all the way a start. All my people out there, keep your head up for me. Don't let this life change you. They won't appreciate you. All my people out there, keep your head up for me. Don't let this life change you. Real ones appreciate you. Enough of them I run down the fast lane. Burn out quick cause them can't maintain. You know the party pan a champagne campaign. And the bank don't know them first or them last name. Oh my God, it's a damn shame. I seen it happen time and time again. Someone I hype on you right now and then tomorrow them I beg you attend.
Any point, any girl, many point, many, so we do it when you boss up. If I ever hit up on me, sing creep up on me, that I pass out. Girl, you ever look neat, ever flash out. I think on your 2 please with your parts out. Any point, any girl, many point, many. Pretty girl with a body, with a bad anybody. You me need a people type on my team. She call man for the first time, don't have the rest of the street, you know what I mean? She say, hey pretty girl, what you doing out there? So she hurting a lover, now she don't care. Pretty girl with a body, with a mad anybody. So me take her off for the scene. You're right up. Be a gun jam and round her. Everybody I know drama. She come round and see for herself. So we do whatever the fuck we want. Me say you're not ready, she say nah sir. See the liquor just a kick, you know what I try. I fit take with that cause she a scratch and turn round, back it up in the corner. Baby you a dancer. You look so innocent, me wouldn't think you want her. She want. No ask me what she do with it, you know the answer.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Yeah. When the road seem rocky and bad, man still I give thanks. Whoa. One thing we know, I will always give thanks for my life. Oh. Every single day that I survive, oh. I will always give thanks for my freedom. And just wanna fuck some girl till my time come. Whoa. Get the youths want rich. Want only faith with me done coming now switch. Better days than the target. Still strong with the team like it's a forklift. And I swear to God, I shall make it out. Whoa. Man, not the food in the daytime. Cause me don't have the space for your waste. I will always give thanks for my life. Oh. Every single day that I survive, oh. I will always give thanks for my freedom. And just want fuck some girl till my time come. Y'all, me give you the best time. You feel the soldier. Fight for your baby. You know, give it up easy.
The BX Boys is in the building. The BX Boys.
When I love someone, have a dance with me, baby. Take a break from work now. Why you tell me how you feel? For once, now your life just be real. Can't take when we scream and fall. This time
time if you smile all night. I've been thinking about you. I hope say you're thinking of me. You have me addicted like Hennessy. Addicted like addicted like music. Attracted to me. Addicted like Hennessy. Addicted like
when you're feeling lonely, call me, baby. Number one pop star. When you're feeling lonely, call me, baby. Yeah. 8765 476 140. That's the private line. Call me when you want me. When you feel the rush, like you need a touch. When your body's burning, baby, all night. Slow motion, all night. Baby, skin to skin, feel it deep within. Slow motion, all night. Just call me. Tell me when you're ready, baby. Tell me which part for come. Me did anytime you tell me. Could I rain or sun, yeah. When your body just a itch you, baby, and you can't control yourself. Let me be the man to love you from 12 to 12. All night. Slow motion, all night. Baby, skin to skin. Feel it deep within. Slow motion, all night. Just call me. Me up in your apartment fast. Cell phone, everything just up. Me no people, me no lazy. I got boy and a dancehall promo run.
Trust me when me say your body right and all that. But me not think so you worth the time and all that. You a try can me but me wiser than that, baby. Girl you fine and all that. Trust me when me say your body right and all that. But me not think so you worth the time and all that. You a try can me but me wiser than that. You're into me car, you're into me house. You're into the pool, but you're not into me bed or the couch. Yo, Sparks. Oh, no. Now that's serious. Oh, yeah. Watch it. I know every game you play, you quick to turn it on me. I see it clearly. You're quick to blame it on me. Me woulda catch up on your words, but I chew me working and I can't be coming too late. While me a work hard fi bring you the cake, is the next man stand up on me game. Look how much woman they a road fi go pick and choose. You woulda cuss me cause your love proof, and then you tell your friend good man not fi fine, but I know me know you're confused. Girl you too bad, girl you too rude. Every man you see you well want fi use. Girl you too bad, girl you too rude. You don't know why you pick up this dirty attitude.
Restricted zone.
BSOP, still a pop and we money enough. Unruly no mixing a funny stuff. She a angle the any rough. So she a forget body enough. From me leave me hard. Every party me stop. Johnny, I run party me got. From a raving thing. Every party me shot tomorrow. Everything me forgot. With them high grade, with them bone. Only for people a lay down a gun. And I tell me she hide at the moon and the sun. When rum bustin' a them head like gold. Say baby, don't worry. You're safe with me. Don't watch nobody. Put it by me. We a party. We young, we not there over 40. Nobody no shake it like Kobe. You know I'm not sure. Y'all post them Instagram picture. Approve Utica. Anytime she drink this strong liquor. Anyway, Banco's furniture. The room already, like she come already. The IV done already. Amount of blood clot we done me bone already. Y'all a fret pan is cold already. Me say baby, don't worry, you see with me. Don't watch nobody. Put the palm. We a party. We young, we not there over party. Nobody no shaky like Kobe. You know I'm there. Yeah, right now, no buckle off cock. Be a girl in a them pretty tight shorts. Them a give me number in advance. I say little more of the lap dance. God know nobody not sleep. Trip money pull up for Nico and Creed. Me and me a rape the whole week. Kill me woman a promise me one week. Say baby, don't worry, you see it with me. Don't watch nobody. The farmer. Why this make you feel like though? Why this make you feel like though? Why this make you feel like though? Y'all, they know. Come wine till you broke off your back, broke off your back, broke off your, broke off your, broke off your back. If you broke off your back, broke off your back, broke off your, broke off your, broke off your back. Girl, you know you got the glue, know you got the glue, know you got the glue. Come broke off your back, broke off your back, broke off your, broke off your, broke off your back, girl. Who you are ramp with? On a game. Anytime you're ready, girl. Come in here. The place get wet like in a rain. Then I make you feel high like on a plane. She say I saw the love, the act. Baseline sweet and I touch this spot. Dancing, she love do that. Girl, coach the chat. Come wine till you broke off your back. Broke off your back. Broke off your, broke off your, broke off your back. If you broke off your back, broke off your back. Broke off your, broke off your, broke off your back. Girl, you know you got the glue. Know you got the glue. Know you got the glue. Come broke off your back. Broke off your back. Broke off your, broke off your, broke off your back, girl. Girl, you body attack on a sundown. You make me turn up at attention. You pretty like the melodies in a me song.
Girl, me want for you all, yo. Put me arms right around you. Girl, you give me the tightest hold me ever get in my life. Girl, me want for just squeeze you. Put me things all around you. Girl, you give me the tightest hold me ever get in my life. Me guide them jam, me no care. Me take it anytime, anywhere. In the square, so me no fear. Long as a woman, I will be there. Me want a girl, me can't wine for me. Me want a girl, me can't take care of me. Let me feel it, let me feel it. Oh, me have to really squeeze it. Girl, me want to should have believe it.
Oh, it's a burn town. Why mash up this?
Only you can make me feel this way. To make me act this way. You take my breath away. Only you can make me cry with smoke. And babe, this ain't no joke. I'm not smoking no coke.
Oh, yo. Woman, you make me heart skip a beat. When you're not in my bed, me can't sleep. You make me weak. Without you, my life incomplete. Me no need that you be, you a do it. Woman, you sweet. Baby, you doing everything I like. She lift it up and ride it like a bike. Doing it right. She keep it up her body, always ever tight. Only you alone, me need it on my side.
Only you can make me feel this way. To make me act that way. You take my breath away. Only you can make me climb that smoke. And babe, this ain't no joke. I'm not smoking no coke.
The BX Boys is in the building. The BX Boys.
Yes, 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 yes. You are back with us on IAXIS Radio, Big Rich the Ruler Show. We coming at you live on WIAX DB.
Sounding like Barry White. You go, boy.
When he first did his intro, when we first started, I dead ass wanted to be like, yo, Barry White on the one, like, I was just trying to let you have your little announcement, but yeah, you sound dead ass like Barry White. It's scary.
That's Barry White of IAXIS Radio.
Yo, facts.
I've always said that.
I've
always
so
said that.
My voice has been deep like this since I was probably like about 7 years old.
Bruh, that is scary as hell, little man
So can you
child.
imagine?
Some little 7-year-old kid rolling up on me talking about, you want to go play in the sandbox?
But it wasn't deep like that. But imagine you being a kid, talking like a kid, but you're like this.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
I can imagine.
Like, what's up, Froggy?
Yo.
Yeah,
Little man child. Okay.
Yo, let me find out. You go out.
And you know how cats are in the street, man. They let me have it, man. They was calling me all kinds of stuff. You know my worst my worst day, right, in my life was I was a young kid, man. I was really liking this girl, right? So I went to approach her one day. And I was like, you know, I like you, you know. She's like, get away from me, you fake Jimmy Walker.
Wow, she went in like
Yo, I was so devastated, man.
It was,
and you know what's so funny? I had a blue denim hat that I used to wear. Folded up in the front, right, with it down over my head. And I looked at myself in the mirror that day, and I had a turtleneck on. I was like, damn, I look like Jimmy Walker.
That's crazy. I bet you cut that out from that point on.
Listen, man, I changed my whole look after that.
The whole look
No
was
more
different.
hats for me. I haven't worn hats since.
Wow,
You
that's
know what,
crazy.
though? It's sad, though, because a lot of these boys nowadays don't get deep voices. Like, they be sounding more high-pitched than me. I'm like, yo, like, that is...
Sound
what
more like
happened?
Mariah Carey out here.
Yeah, like, what happened to the bass? Where that bass at? Like, men don't really have bass in their voices like they used to. So, you got blessed.
Yeah, I thank God.
Nah, because the
my
Barry White
dad had
voice
a
is
deep
dope.
voice too. Like he when he speak, the whole room would rumble.
Damn.
Like, whoa.
I'm not gonna front. People with deep voices always kind of scare me a little bit because I'm like, yo, being around you, if you ever get upset or like you start barking, like you really be feeling it in your soul when somebody got bass in their voice versus like not having no bass and they tripping out. So I would not ever want to be around you.
I've
getting
quieted
upset.
down a room before.
Yeah, yo, I
Believe
can
me,
imagine just one thump and say something. It's like, okay, everybody shut up. Everybody
I've
fall
done
back.
Lean with it.
Yeah.
So you guys, I want to talk about y'all viewpoints on tattoos and body modification. And I'm only bringing it up because recently I was on a job interview because I work in medical, but I'm trying to change my field. I'm kind of over the whole medical thing. And you know, I was on the interview and he was just like, you know, I want to move forward with you, blah, 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 blah. We ain't going to get into that. But he was like, you know, I see that you have a lot of tattoos. I'm like, you know, I do. And he's just like, you know, I just want to make sure that you're not going to like put any more on your face or like in any more crazy like visible areas. I'm like, you know, don't worry. I'm not going to come up in here with my, like, you know, love life tattooed across my eyebrow or nothing like that. Like, I think I'm cool. Because he's like, you know, I'm really conservative. I'm like, but he's like, I'm really conservative. I'm like, you know, I understand that. So what is y'all take on it? Because I know, like, back in the day, tattoos were viewed differently. And I still feel like to this day, I receive a lot of judgment. But once I open my mouth and people, like, hear where I come from or what I have to say, like, their attitude towards me changes. But being someone who has tattoos on my face, I have tattoos on my neck, I have tattoos on my chest, my hand, my fingers, like, very, as soon as you see me, it's the first thing you see type of thing. It's not like they're all hidden and tucked away. They're not inappropriate, but they are first come, first serve. Like, it's the first thing you see about me. And I was nervous, you know, doing it at one point because I was just like, damn, like, people probably going to judge me. But I'm like, you know what? I'm black. I get judged anyways. People going to look at me no matter what I do, whether I have a lot of tattoos or not. But I want to know your viewpoint on it. Do you feel like it makes a person, like, less professional or, you know, what's your viewpoint on it?
Okay, so
You guys
personally, I would never put a tattoo on my body. Never. Under no conditions. Okay, but it's like I was saying last week. You can have the tattoos and all the newfangled stuff, color your hair, but it's how you present yourself.
Agreed.
You know, and I think that's key. You know, again, like when I first met you, okay, it wasn't the tattoos that stood out. It was your personality. You understand?
Appreciate
so
you,
again,
man.
and then I noticed the tattoos. I'm like, okay, but she's beautiful. She's wearing it well. It fits. I mean, the way you have them placed. I mean, it's not like an eyesore. It works with you, okay, and it presents you. So I could walk down the street and see 1 million people with tattoos, but you'll stand out in that group because yours is strategically placed. Okay, it's not where it's offensive. Okay, and again, you know how to carry yourself. That's the difference.
Agreed.
That's the difference.
What about
Young
you,
one?
DJ?
Oh, Me, young. My viewpoint on tattoos. Period.
Yeah, period. Like, do you find yourself judging people? Because before I had ink, I would look at people with ink like, all right, yo, she's the cool one. I want to talk to her. Or some people classify you as just not being professional, or they want to check my credentials because you see I have a tattoo on my face versus someone who may be less qualified to help you than me, but because she has no ink, you feel more comfortable with her. Like, it's like almost like people kind of put me in a box like thug. Not that I don't really care what people think about me. People gonna put you in boxes regardless, and I don't come from the best background in the world, and I could have a thug mentality because I don't find that being a thug is negative, but to the point where I try to place fear in people, never that. Like, I'm not over here trying to scare people into respecting me, but what's your viewpoint on it? Because I find a lot of judgment with ink, even though now everybody has it, it's still...
Well, I don't. Me personally, like Al, I don't have. I wouldn't put a tattoo on me personally, but tattoos in general, I have no problem with it because that's someone's way of defining themselves. I guess you feel what I mean. And the fact that my son's a tattoo artist, my wife has tattoos on her, my daughter has tattoos. It's not the tattoo itself. It's the person on how they carry, like Al says, like how they carry themselves to stand the other. Because my wife has tattoos on her, but you would never know that she have tattoos on her. You feel what I'm saying? Unless you actually see it, because she has like Betty Boop on one arm and her name on the other and stuff like that. Just like my daughter has her name, things like that. And it's not like some crazy outrageous skull listing. You know what I mean? It's just little nice, comfortable things like that where it defined her. It defined them. You know what I mean? It's something they wanted to do. It's something that, that they felt that it would make them feel better. Because in women, especially women do certain things to make them feel better.
Yeah.
I can't knock that. I'm not going to knock it, and I can't knock it. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, the women around me who have it on them are beautiful. So I'm not worried about that.
I'm just asking because I receive a lot of backlash for it. Like, I get a lot of praise for it, and I get a lot of backlash. And I think it's different when you just have, like, a couple of tattoos, and you could put on a dress or put on a jacket and a cover. Like, no matter what I put on, my tattoos will never always be all covered. You're always going to see them. Mm-hmm. I do not wear makeup. I'm not going to start covering my tattoos with makeup because that's not why I got them. And I'm not going to say I don't care who I offend, but it's like I'm not about to go out here and put a mask on myself of who I am. I don't have kiss my ass written anywhere on me or anything disrespectful or like any nudity, like nothing mind-blowing that's horrible. But I noticed that until I speak, like people view me another way. And it's just, I don't know. I just wanted to get your viewpoint. What about you, Pete?
I actually love tattoos, but I just don't have any. I just never knew what to get on me. Like, honestly, I just never knew what to get. Get. So I just don't have any yet, but probably in the future. But I don't see it as a bad thing. Like everyone else said, like it's just about who you are as a person, period. You feel me? If you carry yourself a certain way and you got tattoos and you look crazy, you're doing crazy things, then people are gonna take you as a crazy ass person. But if you got self-respect and you go about life with your morals and stuff, you straight. So tattoos are not bad. You do your thing.
Yeah. So I kind of understand where you're coming from after that interview. So you have some businesses who frown upon tattoos being all over you if you work in their business or in that type of career field. But then again, it's really not about the tattoos, it's about the individual. Especially, let's take customer service. Mm-hmm. Okay, if you're going to be in the forefront, okay,
which is what I do.
It's anything that's inappropriate is going to be inappropriate. Okay, but for you to be able to assist people, for you to be able to give people the information they need, for you to be able to guide and navigate people with your customer service abilities, then it has nothing to do with a tattoo. You know what I mean? So again, if people don't take the time out to look at individuals and not what's on the surface, then we'll never get anywhere. You know what I mean?
No, I agree. I just feel like, people are just prejudiced by nature. You just naturally prejudge someone like, oh, this girl probably come from the hood. They ain't got nothing, don't know nothing, can't even speak proper English because she got all that ink all over her body. And it's like, I went to school too, and I work in medical. I'm sorry, were you about to say something?
No, I was going to let you. But I don't necessarily think, like, people who are doing hiring for particular companies, I don't necessarily feel or think that they're picking someone or looking at someone with tattoos. Especially, it depends on the field. You know what I'm saying? Because, like, for example, in the kitchen restaurant or in the restaurant field, period. You know what I mean? If you're a waitress or something like that, you tend to deal with any type of people coming into the restaurant. So me as a manager of the restaurant, take for example me, the manager as the restaurant. What's representing my restaurant is my waitresses, because those are the first forefront and my lead of when people come in. When people come into my restaurant, the first thing they're gonna see are my waitresses, the greeter, things of that nature. You feel what I'm saying? And with that in mind, I'm not going to have the particular same people coming into the restaurant. I'm going to have different people from different walks of the life coming in. So to have that customer clientele continuously coming in, I'm going to look for a certain look. Not to say that tattoos is bad or this, that, and the other or that nature. You know what I mean? I'm going to tend to look for someone who has more appealing, not what they're coming out their mouth with or this, that, and the other, because you can have the billion lyrics, this, that, and the other, and all that. But people look at an appearance. You feel what I'm saying? In
Absolutely.
A restaurant feel.
Absolutely. That's why most waitresses are pretty. Like, you want someone who looks good to serve you. And I feel like the reason why I've gotten a lot of jobs that I've had front desk or being the first person you see is because of my looks. Even when I apply for a position in the back, they're so adamant after the interview, like, please, Maxim, we just put you up front because we really feel like you will work well with the people. And I'm like, damn, I'm just trying to be in the warehouse stacking stuff, and now you got me up here smiling and saying, hey, and I really don't want to, but they just look at it like, you're attractive, we want you to talk to people. And
I mean, that's part of the hiring, firing. You know what I mean? Because my position, that's what I do. I do hire and fire. You know what I mean? And there are certain things that I do look for. You know what I mean? Especially if I'm looking for someone in the back, then yeah, tattoos, this, that, and the other, and all that stuff, it won't really affect my decision on hiring you. You feel what I'm saying? Because you're in the back. You're not going to be in front of the restaurant where who knows would walk in. You feel what I'm saying? And the word of mouth, and you got to understand, in the restaurant, especially in the restaurant field, the word of mouth will make or break your restaurant.
Absolutely.
You feel what I'm saying? If you have, say for example, you have 10 people come into your restaurant and they had the wonderful experience with the waitress who looked beautiful and know what that do, this, that, and other, and all that stuff, and they turn around, they on their social media, yo, I went to this restaurant and the such and such was amazing, this, that, and other was amazing, boom, boom. Now out of those 10 people, say 3 people out of those 10 people come to the restaurant. Now that's more than 10 people. You feel what I'm saying?
No,
so
absolutely.
with that in mind, I think that's why, you know, people may perceive when someone's being interviewed, oh, they're looking at my tattoos, this, that, and other, and such and such, and boom, boom, boom. It's based on where you're at. It's based on where you at. It's based on where you at.
Tattooed my back or my ass cheek or something. Like, I put my tattoos where I put them because that's where I wanted them to be, and I did not want to allow myself to make people feel like I can't do something just because they couldn't do it, or they felt like they just putting themselves in the box, like, I'm not going to do this because I want this job. Like, look, if you're going to not hire me because you do not like my ink, that is a personal choice, but I know it's not because I'm not qualified. I know because I'm not good enough. Like, I'm not going to allow it to define my character, but I think it's, you know, it's a little messed up, but I got blessed because when I got into the medical field, that's when I started to tattoo my hand, my face, my neck, my chest, because I'm like, yo, like, I'm qualified, like, I'm okay, I'm comfortable at this job. They didn't mind my tattoos. And I really thought, you know, when I transferred out, I used to work in the city, then I moved out and transferred to a site in Long Island. Completely different game. In the city, I run into people who look like me all day. So it's nothing but constant conversation. It's beautiful. Like, I felt comfortable. Went to Long Island, it's the same people that come to the same site for the same reasons every week. And a lot of them are old ass CPs. And I really thought that they would be the ones that would give me a hard time. But they compliment me the most. They're constantly like, oh my God, did that hurt? This, that, my nails, my hair. Like, they always...
They're interested. No, they're interested in it. That's why they're interested in it. If they wasn't interested, it wouldn't have go that route.
They never tried to, like, shade me though. Like, you know, most old people, they're like, oh, well, you shouldn't have put that on your face or blah 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 blah. it's always like love. It's never anything negative. But when someone wants to attack me, if they feel like I didn't do something for them that day, oh my God, my ink is the first thing they go for. Oh, she's unprofessional. She has all these tattoos. And it's like, you just trying to describe me to be like some hoodlum that tried to beat you up in the parking lot, and you just mad because you couldn't see a specific doctor that's not at this location today. And it just sucks that it's like, I don't know, I feel like it's like my blessing and my downfall. I do not regret anything I have on my body. You know, I feel 100% comfortable and confident in everything that I've picked. I feel like I've been wise in my choices. But, you know, it's sad that people still get like super duper criticized. You know, if someone finds out that their doctor has a whole body full of ink, they're willing to change doctors, whether they've helped you and you've been fine regardless, just because they're just like, oh, well, you have tattoos. And I just think that's kind of like sad to rip someone of their credentials based off of looks, because what does looks have to do with anything? Unless, of course, like you said, you're hiring a waitress or something. Cause
I mean,
you're putting them front and center.
I mean, like I said, depending on the job title and what you're what you're looking for, things of that nature. I mean, that's where it comes about. Yeah?
I understand. So, since we talked about tattoos and stuff and me, I wanted to bring it up because I wanted to get back to the kid thing. How would you guys feel if your kid came home with a tattoo underage?
Dub.
Or a piercing?
Dub.
What are you doing? Are you gonna beat them up?
Dub.
Are you gonna?
Wait, how old are they?
We're gonna say I've been seeing people with tattoos from like 14, 15.
Dub.
So I'm gonna say they 15.
Okay,
Dub.
so 14, 15, for me, knowing how today's society is expected for me. I can't sit here and say, okay, I'm not into tattoos, and my child, 14, 15 years old, is not gonna experiment. Just like they experiment with weed and all types of other things. I remember, I think I was in 6th grade when I smoked my first joint.
Oh my God.
Okay, so again, and after that, I'm like, I'm not messing with this stuff no more because I don't like the way it made me feel. You know what I mean? So again, it's to each his own. You know, as adults, as human beings, we're gonna experiment sometime in our life, and usually it starts between that preteen to mid-teen era.
But
you know,
I was on this girl's Instagram the other day. Beautiful girl. Says she's 16, but she has like a lot of tattoos like on her forearm, and I'm like, that would throw me off. Like, I would think you were at least 18 and up. Like, even though I know you can get tattoos underage, the fact that you have it placed right there, just out in the open, like, I feel like my mom would have cut my arm off. Like, I got my first tattoo at 17. I got a little ladybug, and then I got my brother's initials after. She found it like maybe 6 months before my 18th birthday. She was upset. She did curse me out, but I mean, there was nothing she could really do about it. But I know parents who was like, you know, you came home with a tongue ring and your mom is ready to like rip your tongue out your mouth and stuff. And I don't know. I used to think as a kid, like, oh, well, so what? If you want to do it at 15. But honestly, like, I really hope my kid waits until the age limit, because you really think you want things and you really do not want them, or you scar up your body, or you let somebody butch you up because you went somewhere that allowed someone underage to come. And it's just like such a process. Like, you don't realize that people, you can use dirty needles on you. You could end up getting an STD, HIV, any of these things. Somebody, you don't know who the hell they just tattooed. If they just open up the pack, like, there's so many steps that you have to be wise about in getting ink that it's like, no 15-year-old to me should be getting no tattoo.
Okay, I hear you. So that goes back to what I said earlier. You got to know your children. And if you know your children and what they're interested in, then you should have that conversation with them about getting ink. What are the ramifications from dirty needles and all of this other type stuff.
How do you even know what you want tattooed at 15? Like, what? Like, I knew I wanted ink, but the stuff that the stuff that I used to want, I'm so happy that I do not have any of it.
But let me say this to you. At age 15, I knew I wanted to be a fashion designer.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Excuse me. I knew it. I knew I wanted to be an artist. I knew I wanted to play basketball. I knew that I wanted to do something that would affect people every day. I didn't know what exactly, but I knew that.
The girl I was at 15, I don't even know her no more. Like, literally, she is like shedded skin. If I went back and saw her, I wouldn't even recognize her. Yeah. I am nothing of the person that I was then. I'm nothing of the person I was just last year. Just from like, I transcend, I grow every year to the point where I'm just like, how do I even keep up with myself? So at 15, if I would have gotten anything that I wanted tattooed, I'm pretty sure I'd be getting it covered right now.
Okay, so here's the thing that we got to keep in mind about life in itself. Every day is a step to elevation to greatness. Okay, at 16, I was a dad. Okay.
Yeah, I remember.
So again, for most people at that age, it was like, oh, your life is over. But I was like, no, my life is just beginning.
Yeah.
Now I can do things with a responsibility that no other kid my age has. And I can have a better insight on how to get there with these obstacles. And it helped strengthen me. Okay? About time I was 45, I had already retired from my first job.
No, that's
pension and all. But remember, the naysayers were like, you're never going to make it. All my boys, my whole team, the majority of them will even wind up in jail with drug addicts. You know what I mean? But I was the first one to take that step, and they was like, oh, you ain't going to make it. Okay, so again, it's about what was instilled in you. See, I lived a long time fearing that if I didn't do certain things, my mother was going to whoop my butt.
Ooh, same.
Okay? Even after I became an adult, my mindset was still, if I didn't do certain things, I still got to sit here and listen to my mother.
Bruh.
You know? So I'm like, you know, so to avoid having to hear her, not that I didn't want these things for myself, but to avoid having to hear some of the things that I know she could say to me and how it would cut my spirit, I'm like, listen, I'm going to make sure that I do the right thing. You know what I mean? So that's why it's important that parents not only raise their children from day one and instill good qualities in them, but there's a level of fear that you got to instill in your children to keep them on the straight and narrow. And some people say that, oh, that's not right. It's not that your children fear you, but they should know that if you step too far to the left, I know exactly how my parents going to handle me.
No, it should be fair.
Right.
It should, no, you just said no, it shouldn't be fair. No, it should.
I'm saying it's fair, but not that
fair.
Type of fear
No,
that they
it should
scared
be
of you,
fair.
but a fear that they know that, okay, I know that if I go to 1 and 2,
by the time I get to 3,
Daddy might say something, but if I get to 3,
he's gonna put my hands.
I know it's gonna be problems.
Okay, now that's what I'm talking about. Because
that's the type of fear I'm talking about.
Because
I definitely see. This is why I know I'm not ready for kids, because I know I do not want my kids to be scared of me. Like, I want you to know I don't play, but I grew up scared of my mom, and not scared like, oh, if I do, she going my. I mean, fearful, like didn't want to come home from school sometimes.
No,
and I do not want my kid to be
but
like,
that's not the type of fear I'm talking about.
That's a different type of fear I'm talking about.
That's the type of fear that will stagnate you and keep you from growing as an individual if you let it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm not talking about that. Here's a perfect example. Like I told you, my son will be 41 years old next month. And you could ask him about me. We talk, you know what I mean? He'll carry on. He tell me about all this good stuff. We talk back and forth. We talk everything. There's no secrets. But he knows that I don't care if my father's 100 years old. There's a limit that I know I can't go with him. You know what I mean? And here's a grown man with children of his own. His oldest son will be 22 next month. Wow. And he could still say to you, there's just certain areas. That's all my kids, not just my oldest, all my kids. They're like, I'm not going there with my dad.
I mean, that's just like with us, but that's like with me. Well, I mean, like I said, my kids, I give them free reign, because especially now they're grown.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
But still, at the end of the day, there is a level. There's got to be a level. You know what I mean? And you have to instill them in an early age. If they don't get
if
that,
you want to be friends with your kid, or if you want to be
it's not a
parent.
friend thing. No, it's not being a friend. You feel what I'm saying? It's being a parent.
I feel like if you don't have a level, though, where it stops, or it's just certain things you should not talk to your parents about, then it's a friendship. If you do not have a certain level.
That's like
I'm
now.
mad close to my dad, and I could tell him anything. But, like, there's probably a couple things I would not call my dad and say, just out of respect. But I could tell him anything. Like,
I mean, that's just like around, like, perfect example around my moms. You know what I mean? I had my moms to the show. She called my government name out, the whole 9, this, now, another.
You know Can I repeat it?
No. You know what I mean? She called the name out, government, this, that, and the other. But, yeah, okay. Oh yeah. But to me being around her, like if I'm around y'all, I cuss a storm, this, that, and other, or act a survey, or crack a joke, this, that, and other. But once my mom, if y'all notice when my mom's is in the room, I act totally different. I'm totally different around her. And the reason why is because I know me and I know her. I know my level of enjoyment, my level of doing certain things. It's not cautious with her. You feel what I'm saying? She know I do it, just like the radio station. She know I do this radio station. She's probably watching now. You feel what I'm saying? But when she's in my presence, there's a different young one compared to...
There's a level of respect.
Exactly. You feel what I'm saying? And that's because of respect. Not because I fear her. You know what I mean? It's because the love I have for her and the respect that I have for her. You feel what I'm saying? Because anyone else called my government name out would have been gutted like a fish. Got him. Yo, listen, you don't call my government like, that's why I have a DJ name. You know what I'm saying? But mom's is different. You know, certain things she said was different. You know what I mean? Yeah, you know what I mean? That's it's that level of respect. But when I'm around my father, it's a whole different level of respect.
Same.
You see what I'm saying? It's a different level of respect. You feel what I'm saying?
But
because my mom's was around me more than my father. You know what I mean? I have respect for my father, but there's certain things that I do around. Like, I'll drink in front of him. I'll kill a Heineken in front of him, this, that, and other. But my mom's, it's like in my back pocket. You know what I mean? There's certain things, like, even though she know I drink.
Right.
I have it to the side, this, that, and the other. Or I have it in a cup, this, that, and the other. You know what I mean? Because I don't want her to feel a different way.
Absolutely.
That's how it is. But
no, I respect it. That's smart.
All right, people. Look like we out of time. We had a great time today on Big Rich the Ruler Show. Thank you, Max. Thank you, Young One.
Thank you.
Thank you, Pete. All right, we're going to close out.
Yes, indeed. You know what I mean? This is how we do it.
Yeah. Jump from Baltimore, you see you as I never see you. What part you on? I got some family on the Alameda. I love my city, that's about me, and I bet they know me. My name good in any hood, I hung around Savoli. I got a bitch that live on Appleton, she love them killers. When I re-up, I hit my partner, then my Garden Village. My uncle Jimmy round the corner on the avenue. We ball the block, and that's the type of shit I never do. I'm from the east side, you know what kind of shit I'm on. But I be everywhere, I sold drugs and wood alone. I know some niggas down the hill that got it for the low. I live in Bird City, nigga, you already know. And I don't go nowhere unless a nigga strapped up. And if you fuck a Morgan, bitch, you better strap up. Talking shit that get you and get clapped up. We with the shit, better not act up. My nigga Pistol P was born and raised on Biddle Street.